Oh, you want to do a cheers?
Yeah.
That would be cute.
Like, I think we should do a little...
Maybe that could be the thumbnail.
Yeah.
Oh, wait, let me look at the actual camera. I can take a screenshot of that. Okay, cool. Hello, and welcome back to my channel where I share bite-sized inspo mainly to do with Taylor Swift. And today, I'm super excited to have a guest with me for a new series that I'm starting here on this channel where we are going to just do some sister chat about the summer I turned pretty. So this is my sister Katie.
Hi everyone, I'm so excited to be on the channel today. Thank you for having me. I'm here with my hot chocolate.
Yeah, we've got the summer I turned pretty themed drinks. Well, hers is hot chocolate, I just have tea.
Yay.
But we're here to enjoy some just sisterly chat about the biggest show on TV right now, right? The Summer I Turned Pretty just premiered season number 3 earlier this week, and we have so much to talk about. We both watched the show individually by ourselves, and I thought it would just be fun if we came together and shared our thoughts and reactions and predictions about the show as we watch it together and just bring you into that conversation as well. So if you want to grab cup of tea, some hot chocolate, and just come along for our conversation about The Summer I Turned Pretty Season 3. Today we are chatting all about episodes 1 and 2, so there's a lot to chat about. So let's chat The Summer I Turned Pretty.
Let's dive right in.
Should we just start off with a quick little introduction? How did you get into The Summer I Turned Pretty? What's your experience with that world?
Yeah, absolutely. So I actually started reading a lot of the Jenny Han books back when I was in high school. I started first with The Summer I Turned Pretty, actually, but then To All the Boys came out and all of those movies came out. We were actually Korean American. We're half Korean, and so I always just like really resonated with a lot of the characters that Jenny created. I loved how like their identity was an important part of the book, but it wasn't the only thing. And I just felt like I was very like represented in a lot of the stories that she was telling. So yeah, I've just been a big fan since high school. It's really full circle now, I think, to see now that we're in season 3 of the show.
So basically you had read the books and then saw the TV show as it was coming out.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yes. So I have read all the books. It's been some time, and I would love actually to like reread the books.
Yeah,
and I think you've actually read the books more recently, so it's more fresh for you.
Yeah, I mean 2 years ago recently.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because my experience is I wasn't watching the show when it came out. I hadn't read the books. Then I just kind of heard that there was a lot of Taylor Swift songs on the show from this one, and I was like, okay, I guess I better check it out. So I started watching season 1 just before season 2 started coming out.
Yes.
And then got hooked immediately. Yeah. Then I read all the books, and then I watched season 2 live as it was coming out.
Yeah.
So the books were fresh when I was watching season 2. Yeah. Now it's been 2 years since then.
It's been a while.
So
and they're all grown up.
They're all grown up, and there's been a big time jump, but we'll get into all of that. We'll get into all of that. So basically, plan for this video is to chat through the scenes. We won't cover everything. We'll just cover the highlights. Yeah. And then any of our big reactions, surprises, big moments, and our Easter eggs to pull out. At the end, we'll share some of our predictions for next episode. Yeah. So keep watching to the end if you're interested in hearing those. And we've only done like a sort of really brief recap.
Yeah, there's a lot to talk through that we haven't been able to yet. So I'm really excited.
That's what we're gonna do. That's the plan. So if you're interested in any of that, keep watching. And let's just dive in to the first episode number 1.
Perfect.
Yeah. Before we dive right in, how did you watch these 2 episodes? When did you watch them?
Yeah. Okay. Great question. So previously, for some of the other seasons, it was actually that it would drop a little bit earlier.
They came at night.
Yeah.
They came at
night.
Yeah. They were. I think they were supposed to come at midnight, but then they would release them like 3 hours early.
Yes, which was great.
Ideal. I was hoping for that this season, but they never did it.
Yes, and we're both night owls. I will say this time the 3 a.m. like release time
was a little too much.
That's a lot. So I watched it like first thing the next morning before work. I think for me, I just tried to stay off of socials because once I get on TikTok or like Instagram, I feel like I see a lot of edits.
It's over,
Yeah. But yeah, I watched both back to back. I think in some cases I am someone who like loves to binge shows. And so if they're all out at the same time, then I'll like try to watch the whole thing. So this is allowing me to pace myself.
Yeah.
Which is
Yeah.
really
Yeah.
good. Nowadays, a lot of things you can stream immediately in full. So it is kind of nice to build the anticipation.
Yeah.
And to like think about all the theories.
Yeah.
And
And
I like
yeah,
that.
kind of like predict what could be coming.
Yeah.
And all of that. So that's cool.
It's hard for me to wait, but I do
Yeah.
think the payoff will be sweeter.
For sure. For sure. Okay. So I thought to kick off, can we just take a second and talk about the titles of the episodes? Because I
Totally.
love what Jenny Han does with these. I
Yes.
think she's so clever.
She's very clever.
So the first season, all of the episode titles had summer in the title names.
Yeah.
And then for season 2, all of the episode titles had love in the name. And then in the same vein, obviously we don't know for sure, but it seems like every episode will have last
Yes.
in the name, which is so good.
Yeah.
Did you have thoughts about that when you saw the episode titles?
I did pick up on that pretty quickly as well. I love how she always is like so intentional.
Yeah.
I think with like all of the different Easter eggs, continuity.
It's really good.
Yes. I thought that was very clever. I thought that we might even get like a last kiss, like Taylor Swift reference
Yes.
as well. Maybe that will
That
still
could come.
come.
It
yeah.
could come.
I was thinking that could be.
That's nice. That's a nice prediction.
Yeah.
Right off the bat. I like
Yeah, I am wondering, I think with last, like, I think it's also, you know, highlighting that this is like the last season, which is
Yeah.
kind of sad, but
Yeah.
I think it's like the right word
I think
for
so
this,
too.
for this time.
Well, and I was thinking I feel like those words almost, I don't know, this is a working theory, but I was thinking, could those words even summarize the feel or like a main theme of each season? Because the first one is
Sure.
summer.
Yeah.
And that one, like the season is so characterized by summer,
And
right?
introduces you
Yeah.
to like cousins.
Yeah, and
like,
just
that
the
whole-
summer, like that's what it's all about.
Yeah.
Season 2, love, I think you get like
Sure.
more of the love triangle.
Yeah.
Really heavy into relationships, and then this being the last. I thought especially with the first episode is called Last Season.
Yeah.
And I think that's so poignant because
Yeah.
it is like the first episode of the last season, but
Yeah.
also there's like a really big recap at the beginning of the first
Totally.
episode. And so it's almost like you're going back into the last season
Yeah.
and reminding yourselves of, oh, this is what happened last season. So I just thought like all of those little things coming into, you know, double meanings for one word.
And almost
Clever.
triple too, because I also read it as, if you've read the books, sorry, this is like some spoilers as well, but if you've seen these 2 episodes, you'll also see there's a big question that is popped.
Yes.
And I think the idea of like last season, like this is kind of, you know, their last college you know, experience until they're moving on kind of like the next season of their lives as well.
Yeah.
I think it does kind of touch on the really growing up and maturing. And I think that was pretty
interesting.
immediate. Like I felt like, wow, we're really at the next level.
Yeah, and that's cool too, because I was just thinking as you were saying that, like the fact that last season and bringing into kind of seasons of their lives.
Yeah.
And I think the fact that this show has been so focused on summer, but I feel like this season especially has kind of moved on from that, right? Like the first episode starts with autumn, like you're getting into fall, you're getting into college, you're kind of moving on with your life.
Yeah.
And that's really poignant too. That's
It
really
is.
interesting.
Yeah, because I think you think of summer as like youth and, you know, it's really nostalgic, but it's kind of, they're kind of moving into the next phases.
like reality, real life, real world kind of thing.
Love the name.
Yeah.
Choices.
Jenny Han is so good.
Yeah, I also thought like Last Christmas was interesting because it reminded me of like Ghost of Christmas Past.
And she
like
even says that phrase at the end of the episode. Yeah.
So I also thought that was really clever. Also the song like Last Christmas, love
which
that song.
Taylor covered.
Yeah.
That's
a fantastic song. I think like there's also a lot of double meanings there.
Yeah.
So yeah, I am interested. This is kind of going ahead, but I am interested for the next episode, like what the name of that would be.
Yeah.
Like Last Goodbye, maybe like it's a memorial. I don't know.
Oh, if the memorial happens next episode, maybe.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm trying to think what.
Interesting. Okay, we can chat maybe more about that under predictions, but that's a cool idea.
I would also love to ask more your thoughts about the time jump itself.
That's what I wanted to talk about next. Yeah.
Because this was something that we talked a little bit about before the season aired.
Because we knew that there would be a larger time jump.
Yes, but before actually that came through in the trailers, I think I was a little bit curious as to whether they would keep it more book consistent because in the book actually there isn't as much of a time jump.
Yeah, how is it like a year or two or something?
Yeah, it's a lot quicker, and they're very much like I think Belly is at the end of her freshman year.
Yeah, I think that's right.
And so I think that's a very different headspace.
Yeah.
I really appreciated actually that they decided to go with a little bit of a longer time jump. I think to me it gives like the Jeremiah Belly relationship just like a little bit more.
It changes it quite a lot, I think. Yeah.
I think so because it's pretty like to have that long of a relationship.
That's a long time.
Pretty substantial. I feel like,
especially at that age.
And I think it gives it a little bit more legs, and then also makes some of the other
decisions and choices
that occur
even worse.
More of a gut punch because you're like, whoa, you've actually invested a lot of time. So I think the idea of time was very interesting. I also think for Conrad, for instance. I felt like it's given a lot of time for him to kind of heal more as well. Like we found him in the last season. Obviously, like everyone deals with grief differently, and he was really going through.
He was struggling,
which is like
understandably,
And I think it was just like really cool to see kind of his development and see like he's in therapy now. Like his
intro,
incredible,
was like. The best you could get.
Yes,
I was like, oh my gosh,
he's really taking care of himself. Like he really, he feels like very settled. And that was really cool to see. And I think you needed a little bit
more time
for that
to get that. Yeah, that's a good point. Can we talk about the contrast of like? I just think how Jeremiah is kind of set up, especially in the beginning and throughout the whole first episode, and then how Conrad is set up because it's so different. It's such a contrast, and it's very interesting.
It is interesting. I think for Jer, especially, and this is kind of more with the relationships themselves as well, I really got the sense that like with Conrad, he's done a lot of maturing. He's done a lot of work on himself.
And maybe also even just going away.
Getting some distance. And he's really had to like become an adult, like take care of himself. I loved like the furnished apartment. You're kind of like, okay, he kind of has some things together. He has the capacity maybe for someone else in his life. And I think that was very interesting. Even we got very short scenes, obviously, with him and Belly, but like just the dynamic of like him taking care of her. And I very much felt like even though Belly is younger than Jer, like it was very much her always taking care of him in the relationship.
That is how it comes across.
Of course, like every relationship, there's different dynamics, but it just felt like he was really the one who like was constantly needing kind of her care and support. She was kind of babying him a bit, you know, sometimes. And she was really taking on kind of like more, I feel like, of the load in that relationship sometimes. So I think that is interesting, the juxtaposition of those two relationships.
Well, and I just think even throughout that first episode, I feel like there's a lot of red flags that are clearly set up for Jeremiah. Like literally, Steven is sitting down with Belly and telling her like, these are all these things that you don't like about him. She is pointing out herself to him about like, these are things I don't love about your frat and your friends and like how you are conducting yourself and things like that. And it's just that contrast with how Conrad is set up right from the beginning of, like you said, going to therapy. And then also you had pointed out that a friend of his calls out.
Like
about
football. And in the past, like that has been kind of like a point of like hurt for Conrad, like that isn't something that he's been able to really
because of pressure from his dad.
So I was like, oh, I feel like
she's like been able to work past.
Which I think is just like a great indicator of like how Conrad is doing. Obviously he doesn't have it all together because they're still young and like figuring things out, but I just felt like he was more in tune with like and he's trying to get more in tune with his feelings as well, which is kind of how that other friend comes into the picture as well.
And I think just going back to what you're just saying, I think very much he's painted as having like made a lot of progress, done a lot of work. But I do think there are things that showing like he still is a work in progress, obviously, because even in therapy, right, he's like not able to fully open up about Belly, about his feelings, about where he's at. He just kind of is still shoving some things down, right?
Understandably, because it's hard to
I mean, I think that, like, how do you even admit to that?
Yes.
That's hard.
I think he's kind of he's found the best way to be able to kind of proceed with obviously like his brother and the love of his life together.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think he's kind of found his coping mechanism. But I am really interested in seeing throughout this season like how he is able to, you know, be a little bit more forthcoming with his feelings. Yeah. That's kind of been like the point of tension the whole show. Is like he feels so deeply and he cares so much, but he hasn't really been able to communicate that effectively. And that's kind of been like the point of tension a lot. I also felt like, I don't know if this was my feeling when Conrad had his first entrance. It kind of gave me that same feeling as in like Twilight when like Edward.
Oh, like when they're coming into the cafeteria?
No, when Edward and Bella like for the first time show up together.
And everyone's like looking at them as a couple.
But it's just kind of like
the music gives the same vibe.
Entrance. It gave me that same kind of like. You're really cool.
For sure. The thing that came into my head, which is, it's not the same thing at all, but it's a similar feeling in a different world. But like the scene where Aragorn like opens the doors in the two towers and he just like makes his entrance and you're confident. Like, oh, he has arrived. And here's this like rugged man that's like, you know? And it's like, it's like that, but in the context of like a young guy in California.
Sure. Yeah. So epic entrance.
Yeah, epic entrance. The music was really good.
The music was
Red
very
Hot
good.
Chili Peppers
Yeah,
for that
loved
moment.
the song choice for that moment. Like it just brought me back to college. And actually, fun fact: Jenny is an alum of UNC Chapel Hill.
I hadn't realized that. Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, so she was actually a psych major. She went to UNC Chapel Hill for undergrad. I also went to UNC. Parts of the show for season 3 were actually filmed on the UNC campus.
Yeah.
So I was watching it and I was like, it feels really nostalgic because it is.
Yeah.
But I think it's just like that quintessential, you know, like college experience.
Yeah.
So I thought that was sweet how they had. Well, we'll preface and say we are both team Conrad if it has not.
100% if it hasn't come across.
But I think the montage of like her and Jer kind of like growing closer through like the years, college years, like that was very nostalgic and felt very like, college to me, and I really liked that as well, like, including
it is sweet, and I think it's interesting as well, and even just the teaser trailer for the whole season, that like the whole trailer, right, is her and Jeremiah, and it's to the song Daylight, which is like also very interesting to me. And then Conrad just comes in at the very end with Red, and I find that so interesting that Jenny Han, who is a huge Swiftie, and I think really understands Taylor's music, made that intentional choice to kind of characterize Belly's relationship with Jeremiah as Daylight and her relationship with Conrad as Red. And to me, like, I'm still struggling with this.
I know you're
struggling. As a Conrad girly, I'm like...
I know you're struggling. You know what I found very interesting, actually?
What?
There's a line, I think Steven says it, like... I think it's in the first episode, and he even says something like, "We're burning daylight here," and I was like, "Interesting."
I didn't catch that.
Choice.
But it is interesting
because obviously that's like a very common phrase. Like, you know, they were trying to like move things in, but I was like,
when she's moving into the door.
Yes. But I was like, using that term within the context of this bigger world
where she is
Daylight has been a Jer song.
Yeah.
I'm like, interesting.
That is really interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
So for me, I don't know. I just feel like things are intentional on this show. I might be reading in too deeply.
No, not at all.
But I thought like using that phrase was kind of interesting.
Well, and there's another phrase. Oh, I don't know if I wrote it down, but there's another phrase where also Belly is talking about Jeremiah and she calls him Golden.
Yeah.
And that's interesting too, because that's obviously lyrics from Daylight.
Yes.
It's just, I struggle with it a little bit, because I also feel like we had established in season 2, there's like that scene where Belly is sleeping on the bed and Jeremiah's on one side and Conrad's on the other side.
Yeah, with
and
the
Jeremiah's side is in shadow and Conrad's side is like bathed in daylight. And like, and everyone had made edits to that using the song Daylight. This is before season 3.
Sure.
So in my head, I had very much like already associated Daylight with Conrad as light. But I
That's
don't
fair,
know.
but I also think it's a maturity thing. And,
Yeah.
and I also think red, to me, there's been a lot of symbolism. And
Yes.
even these first 2 episodes, like the clothing-wise.
She is always wearing red.
She's always wearing red, like with
Yeah.
Conrad, and then blue, like with Jer, which I think is also
Yeah.
interesting with like lyrics of the song.
Yeah.
Like losing him is blue. Like
Losing him was blue.
Losing
yeah.
him was blue.
Yeah.
So I'm like, interesting. I
It
feel
is
like
interesting.
there is symbolism with even their clothing choices,
Yeah.
and I think they
Yeah.
are really embracing like the red. For
Yes,
Conrad.
they absolutely are. Yeah. And I had made an edit last season
Yeah.
to Midnight Rain with Jeremiah
Yes.
and Belly because it was like he was Sunshine, I was Midnight Rain.
Sure.
And like, because I think everyone calls him like Sunshine Belly.
Sunshine
He has
Boy.
like golden retriever kind
Energy.
of vibes. Like,
Yeah.
Like I understand, but it is, it's just interesting. It's just interesting to me.
There's a lot of you know.
It's a lot.
I know it's hard for you, but I think that
she's intentional for a reason.
she's
I know
intentional
she
for a
is.
reason, and there will be more epic T Swift songs
There will.
that will be given
I mean,
to Conrad.
we cannot complain about the songs that
Yeah.
Conrad and Belly have at all.
I'm also curious about some of the new characters this season and kind of your thoughts with their introductions and such.
Yeah.
I was really interested kind of how they were going to introduce her roommate.
Yeah.
Because that is like a relationship that is outlined more in the book.
Yeah.
So I just want to get kind of like your initial thought.
I like a lot of the new characters. I really, really like the professional character
Yes.
relationship. So I think Conrad's friend Agnes, like you said, who he's kind of doing like the intern hospital residency kind of thing with.
Yes.
I love her. And then
she's great.
Steven's friend in the office, I also really
Denise.
love her. Denise,
Yeah.
she's so cool. She's so cool.
Yeah, I think they're definitely. It's going to be like the enemies to lovers
could be.
in a workplace environment.
I think
so too.
Yeah,
I think so too.
They just have, both of them have good banter. Good banter, good chemistry.
Yeah, and I love like the usage of Agnes as a friend as well.
Yeah.
Like I think there's just like a maturity there, which is really cool. Which is like she was interested, he kind of said like no, but they can still be friends.
Yeah.
And like she's really pulling
the
emotional
out of him.
Like opening him up.
Yeah.
I think and I do think that there's gonna be exploration there. And they're gonna be like friends and then but I think it's just not going to pale to like, kind of his like main love.
The main,
But I think she's going to draw some really like important things out of him and help him realize like, it wasn't like I like am still in love.
Yeah.
And I think he knows, but like, I think that she is like a safe space for him to explore that. And so, I think that is maybe the relationship that like excites me the most, like the friendship part, just because she just seems like really like sweet and like supportive.
I like her a lot, and I think the casting's really good for them. Yeah. And it kind of for me is a little bit of an still unknown.
I was thinking actually that they were going to have a couple more scenes together, and
she didn't have a lot of screen time.
I hope there's more because the screen time that we did get, I was like, this is also an important friendship.
Yeah.
And I feel like college friends, like roommates, like that is a really special friendship.
Yeah.
And I think that actor is like awesome. And so I would have loved to have seen a little bit more development.
I'm sure we'll get more.
Yeah, I'm curious.
I feel, and I could be wrong, I feel like the main thing I've gotten from her role so far, which has been really small, is just to show the tension between her and Taylor.
A little
and
bit.
Kind of like the...
Sure, that
is
they're
someone
not as close.
Taking my spot or like, especially when Annika's really like taking care of Belly, and you could see Taylor wanted to be there and was like, can I just see her? And she wouldn't let her. And I feel like there's tension there, and I think
a little bit.
It's interesting to me that they're showing that at this point after like a longer time jump. I feel like something like that would have made sense earlier on. Yeah.
Sure. I think it's trying to show that like obviously they're like childhood friends.
Yeah.
And they're still very close. And Taylor like is gonna be a big part of like the next episodes. I would, if they're going to follow the book. But I think they're also showing like they're not as close, or there's been like another friend who also is very close to Belly.
Yeah.
I think what's interesting is, and I've seen kind of mixed reaction in terms of like how protective she was over Belly. Because it's like, that actually is like a day one friend. And so like in some cases you're kind of like, oh, like she should kind of get access to Belly.
Yeah.
At the same time, it was like, I kind of get like she was she was trying to really like protect her friend in that moment.
Yeah.
So I kind of get both reactions. I think some people were kind of like, that's a little too far. Other people are kind of like, well, like Taylor was really like intertwined in all of this.
Yeah.
And Belly really needed like some space.
Yeah.
And also, as we know, like Taylor has been like Jer, like Team Jer, number one fan.
Jeremiah. And then I also wonder, I don't know, just as you were saying that, I was thinking the fact that she is actively cheating. Her own boyfriend, Steven, is actively cheating.
It's too close to the situation right now.
It could be that is causing some distance as well. I think that, that's just a huge plot point of these two episodes, that there's so much cheating going on, which is very different from the books.
We've seen, like, a lot of people have said, like, the summer, everyone
cheating. Yeah, the summer, everyone cheated.
I was not anticipating that. No. Obviously, in the book, you know, the Jer, that storyline is in there. I think Steven, well, in the book, actually, Steven is not as present. So I love that, like, he is being really included in this season. Of course, I wanted to, like, see him in this season. I loved the conversation that we got with Belly and
That's
Steven.
One of my favorite scenes of the whole show.
Their chemistry
of the whole
is like
first
so
episode.
good.
They have great sibling banter.
But I was disappointed, I would say, in terms of them going down like the cheating storyline again. Because actually in the first season, this was a similar thing where Steven had Shayla and they were really cute, I felt. And then obviously, like, I understood with Taylor, like, that was like a crush that, like, for years. And so, like, I understood, like, exploring that and then being, like, kind of the main, like, relationship that emerged from that. But I didn't anticipate. I thought, okay, they might be rocky, but I thought maybe they were going to be more casual. Like, if they did have other partners, it would be, like, you know, they had talked about it, like they weren't official, but it very much felt like they had official relationships and they were cheating on their partners. And I didn't like that.
I didn't like that either. I really didn't like that. And I also just felt, I thought it was an interesting creative decision to go that way. And I can see in some ways that maybe it was, you know, because I think we get by the second episode even, you know, Taylor realizing like this is not a good situation for me to have put someone else in.
The other significant others, so they like understand like
and
what they've been doing is
it happening to her best friend, I think could have helped that. But then I think also from Belly's perspective, I was a little bit surprised actually by how unaffected she seemed by her brother and her best friend both cheating on each other.
I thought Belly would be furious.
I thought she would be furious too.
I think she's also done with it. She's like, they're so off and on. Like,
that could be the
I'm
case.
like tired of
it
this.
It could be that maybe she's like been dealing with this for a long time. So
that's what it made it seem like. Like it's been such a tumultuous relationship for them. And she's kind of like, oh, they're always going to get drawn back to one another. And it could be that she's already talked to them, you know, many times and been like, you need to like decide. But I was also surprised that she didn't have like a bigger reaction. I also think what's interesting is by introducing the Steven and Taylor like cheating storyline, to me, it somehow then made the Jer cheating storyline, it softened it a little bit, I think.
Because it's already happening.
It's already happening. And then it's a, like, I think, you know, there's two sides where some people feel like it's more semantics. You know, we can also discuss our thoughts on that. But I think for them, it's like very clear, like ongoing cheating. And so then I'm like, I don't know if I love that. Then it feels like his mistake
is even less.
I agree.
So
I understand, though, why they were trying to depict this tumultuous relationship with Steven and Taylor, though. And I think I was also surprised about the car accident happening this early on. Like, I was shocked about that, actually. I think from the trailer, like, I thought that was going to be episode 5, going to be a climax. And I also think, would love to hear your thoughts, I think that the car accident, amazing acting performances, like, I think Lola, like Great Rain was, like, very moving performances. I did think that maybe the stakes would be a little higher and for longer. Of course, I didn't want Steven to be, you know, in critical condition or anything like that. And he was like in a coma, like induced. But I did think like oh, we're gonna at least get one episode where maybe he's still in a coma, like maybe more K-drama, like
Yeah.
where like you don't really know.
Yeah.
I thought like the parents are gonna rush to the hospital,
And he would still be in a coma.
in a coma.
Yeah.
And I just felt like even with the proposal then, which we will also get into, I thought that things were gonna be a little bit more high drama at the hospital and not fully resolve. And that would partially be why Belly was kind of like, life is so short. Like, we gotta go. We gotta take the next step. And I'm okay with it, even though I'm like still processing literally everything that has just happened. I thought she'd be kind of, obviously, like, this is a super scary situation. And like, she almost did just lose her brother. But I thought maybe that point of tension would be a little bit longer.
Yeah. I think this is my main criticism of these first 2 episodes. I feel like some of the narrative development feels just rushed to me.
Yeah.
And I think in my mind, these really big dramatic points of breakup, proposal, and car accident, which we kind of all knew were coming. Like they've all happened. They've all happened within the first 2 episodes. So that makes me wonder what is coming next.
Which is also, I'm kind of like, we don't know because the trailer, 75% was in episode 1 and 2.
Yeah.
So I'm also like, we don't yet see the vision. And it could be that there's so many other things that are to come we don't know about yet. So they needed to carve out time for that. So
that's what I'm thinking too. I'm like, obviously Jenny Han has a narrative arc in mind. She knows the whole season. So there must be an arc to this. But to me, it's just very surprising that these things have happened very quickly. And I did feel, even though I can understand maybe plot-wise why they had to happen so quickly, I did feel like some of those moments did feel rushed. And could have used maybe a little bit more time, even within the episodes themselves, even if it had to happen this early on in the season. Because I felt like there are other scenes that were so good for development. I think scenes like Steven and Belly sitting down to dinner and talking through like Steven's mindset and what he's doing and you know, her issues with Jeremiah. I think things like that, really great character development, really great seeing their relationship with each other, how they talk to each other as brother, sister. Scenes like that, I'm like, oh, really great pacing, really great development. Things are happening really well here. But then other things happen so quickly and I'm like, oh, I could have just used a little bit more to get there.
I think I was anticipating that the second episode, it was actually going to spend a little bit more time on the breakup. And I thought
that
we were
was so short too.
It was quite short.
She was in bed for like half a day, and then she was.
Which I'm also like, you go, girl. Like that's amazing.
I mean, well, I think Steven's accident
kind of she you know, she had to get moving. But I almost thought like we're not going to get the car accident, or it was going to. I actually thought it was going to end with the car accident. And then the hospital scene and proposal will be the next episode. So. It makes sense because there was still time in like the episode for things to happen. But that is maybe where I would have ended it. And I think to get more into like the whole breakup, I think also I was anticipating a little bit more time, and then some of the songs. Then at that moment, I had a lot of thoughts about what songs. I will say I'm also a big Olivia Rodrigo fan. And when Guts came out and when Lacey came out specifically, I remember listening and being like, this will be in the show. I was like, this song has to be in the Summer I Turned Pretty. I was like, unbelievable that the name, literally the name and then the content.
And the context,
incredible. So that was very exciting to see. I will say though, I also had thought like White Horse, Traitor by Olivia would also maybe be in
songs, or even people I've been sing a lot of edits about Babe. Like there's a lot of songs that would work, and it's like, wait, but now the moment's over. So now we won't get any of them.
So I think in a selfish way, I was thinking,
I know, like we had so high
hopes.
There
had been a couple, like 3 more minutes.
Why couldn't she wallow in depression a bit longer?
To get one more song in there. So now I'm wondering, will there be maybe there'll be a flashback where she's thinking about the breakup and like upset.
Maybe, but it's not as powerful.
It's not as powerful.
Yeah. I will say, I do think the use of You're Losing Me was very well done. I thought it was too short. Like, I think could have been longer development. That song is like one of my top 5 Taylor Swift songs. That is an incredible song.
Yeah.
I think the way she used it in that scene worked so well.
Very cinematic.
Very cinematic. I thought the running was really good. I have seen some criticism of people's reactions of Belly, feeling like she should have been more emotional, feeling like that scene could have been a little bit more emotional. And I when I was watching it, I didn't have that same thought. I did feel like some things felt a little bit. I felt even her like slap.
I thought the slap was good.
I thought the slap was really good, but it was so quick.
Sure.
It was like, in my mind, I'm like, don't you need even just a second to process what he said before you can... I mean, I have no idea how you would react in these kinds of situations.
Yeah.
But I think some things I felt like could use a little bit more development. But yeah, and I felt like use of that song was really, really great, but I just would have loved more of it.
Okay, I think that's very fair criticism. I felt like I was quite happy with that scene.
Yeah.
Like, I thought the slap great.
It was great. I mean, it was great. Well, no criticism of the slap itself. I just thought it was like so immediate. And maybe it's like a reflex, but in my mind I'm like, wait, did you even like hear what he said?
Yeah, I felt like it was pretty real.
Yeah.
Like the emotion she was playing out.
Yeah.
So I was very happy with that scene. To me, it was more the aftermath where I wanted it to just be a little bit longer.
Yeah.
And I think again, like, by introducing the car accident, I think it did help to maybe give more justification for Belly, like,
getting over it
more quickly.
Yeah.
So I also wonder if that's partially why that was added.
I think so.
And just to raise the whole stakes of everything as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, I wish it had lingered a little bit. I also think in general, one of my theories, I wasn't even sure if they would keep the cheating storyline in this way.
Yeah.
I thought maybe they were going to soften it even further. I will say I think they tried to make it very clear that from Jer's perspective,
it wasn't.
They were broken up and it wasn't like,
it wasn't an intentional cheating from his side.
Yes.
And I do think the books, it's not quite as definitive on that.
More murky,
I think it's more murky in the books of like, I think there's more valid reasons for debate on whether it's a breakup or not in the books than versus the show. I think the show makes it pretty clear, like they were broken up, but I think the real betrayal and hurt is how quickly you moved on after that.
And I thought they did that really well. Especially I think the contrast with Conrad.
Yeah.
Where it's like, he is
how
still
many times have you been in love once?
And he's still
urinating. How many
urinating?
times did you cheat?
Twice. Yeah, I think a couple things here. I think the fact that it was twice jaw dropped, because to me, even
that's not in the books.
I think it's just one time.
I think I mean, it might not even be defined.
Yeah. I think though that feels like a gut punch.
Yeah.
And I think the fact that, even if he was upset, they were drunk, all these different things, they were broken up. To do something twice feels more like intentional.
Yeah.
And then I also think I have a couple of different theories here too, where I'm like, I am wondering in the future if the whole argument that they had about Cabo and all of that, I am wondering, to me, it just feels like there needs to be more as to why he even started that argument.
Well, it feels like he's purposely picking a fight.
Yes.
Because she even says, like, he brought this up out of nowhere, picking a fight out of nowhere. So it feels like, like he's trying to make something happen.
Yes. Well, it feels like he wanted to be single for the trip,
to be free.
Which feels very intentional then again. And my only thing that I think would not justify this at all, but maybe would add a layer, and I'm wondering if we will get this in future episodes, is if actually Jer has discovered the sticky note that Conrad left that said like Merry Christmas, it was good to see you. Because I think originally I thought, okay, he's not, I don't know how he's going to find out. But now I'm wondering, has he already found out? He saw that he picked the fight. That would be giving him a lot of grace.
That would be giving him a lot of grace. But also, I would be surprised, given the way he's characterized in this season especially, I feel like he would have brought it up.
He would have
out of out of anger or kind of, wanting to lash out. I don't know if he would have been able to keep it inside. But that is an interesting thought. I mean, we could see.
It's one thought I had. I think it would provide a little bit more understanding as to why he picked the fight.
Yeah.
If it was not that, then I'm kind of like, This is very upsetting because you did not even tell your girlfriend about the trip, which makes it feel like it was very secretive to begin with. Like, what would have happened if she hadn't seen the
the whole context around it is just really bad.
Yeah, it feels very suspicious. It also feels weird how he got the bracelet for her.
Yeah.
If the whole thing was like they were broken up.
Yeah.
So I think that the show did achieve like the fact of the bigger hurt is not whether they were officially broken up or not. Like people can still debate that. But the bigger hurt is that like he moved on so quickly.
Yeah.
And how could he?
Yeah.
Especially given how long they were together.
Yeah.
And also it seemed like maybe this was one of the bigger fights that they have had. And so like you're not able to navigate that when you've been in a long-term relationship. Like things are going to get hard. We're going to have fights like this.
Yeah.
You just give up. Like you don't fight for it.
And
like,
even beyond that, like you don't just give up. You like actively take steps to that you know will be harmful and hurtful.
Yes. I think what was also quite revealing is at the party, you know, when they walk in and she's introduced to Lacey, he clearly knows I did something wrong.
And he's trying to get her away. Like more celebrating.
Yes. So that in itself was also, to me, that indicated, okay, you know you messed up.
Yeah.
You know you kept this a secret. It wasn't just, you know, like an honest mistake, obviously.
Yeah.
So it felt more premeditated.
Yeah.
Know? So all of these things together, I'm like, it makes the situation a lot worse.
Yeah.
I did like the conversation that he had with his frat boy.
Yes, it was a good conversation. I think you liked it more than I did. I think you liked the frat boy more than I did.
I didn't anticipate that he would have some good advice.
He did have, fair assessment. He did have good advice. Yeah. And he delivered it very well.
He delivered it well. Yeah. I don't think that Jared took it a little too far. He took it a little too far. But he was kind of like, fight for your girl, dude.
Yeah,
like, if you
it
care
was
this
good
much,
advice. Yeah.
Don't just walk away.
Yeah.
So, okay, a couple other things. Where's the academic advisor? Where's the academic advisor?
Like this whole situation to me is bizarre.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know how this... I have heard crazy stories of things happening to people that seem valid. This does not seem valid.
Totally.
Like, this is... Jeremiah, come on.
Yeah. And to me, that also just indicated you're not ready.
Well, this is the whole contrast of what kind of person he is.
Yes.
Like, he's not very responsible.
Yes.
He's just kind of... He, like, goes off and doesn't spend his time very well.
Yes.
He's not keeping on top of things. He's making costly mistakes, literally costing his father $20K. And that is massive.
I'm not Team Jer. I do want to have a little bit of empathy in that when you're in college, like, you know, you don't have everything figured out.
That's true.
But
these are big.
This is a big red flag.
These are big red flags.
That's a big red flag.
Yeah. Like, that's, like, yeah.
And I was confused as to how... He did not know. And I will say, it did remind me, but it's different. It did remind me a little bit of Jess from Gilmore Girls.
Yes.
When Jess is supposed to take Rory to prom. And then actually he finds out like he's not allowed
He's not allowed to. Yeah.
And it just felt kind of like that. I mean, on a bigger scale.
But on a massive
scale.
One thing, okay, I can't go to prom. Another thing, like I have to do a whole nother semester and cost $20,000.
Of course. Yeah. So, but it did give me that feeling a little bit where like that is also Jess in his moment of like he's still pretty immature at that time. Yeah. Later he really matures and he really like figures more things out. But it gave me kind of that same feeling a little bit.
Yeah, for sure. And I think that conversation, obviously you can see through his conversation with his dad, and we've even seen in the past seasons as well. Like he has a difficult relationship with his father. Like his father shouldn't be saying... Totally justifiable that he's upset. I think like costing $20K for a big mistake, like that's a huge mistake.
Totally.
But the delivery is not great, and like the comparison card is never okay.
Yes.
Never okay. And so obviously, and even in their fight, Belly brings this up of the inferiority complex. You know, he's always felt second best to Conrad.
And with Belly too, because I mean, she picked Conrad over him initially. So I get some of it for sure. Yeah, it's hard.
He's constantly battling against that, right? Yes. So there's understandable trauma for him to be working through, but he's just not working through things in a good way.
Yes. And I think, I felt this way in the book. I felt it again in this adaptation. I think the rush to them propose, crazy.
Like, yeah.
Like that, instead of...
It's a response of needing to clutch onto what he can get, right?
Totally.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think he's kind of like, how else can I prove it to you?
Yeah.
Marriage.
Yeah.
But literally, where's the ring? And where's the kneel? Okay, and you were proposing outside of the hospital
that her brother was just in.
Yes,
is in currently. It's really, the context is so bad. So I was like screaming at my laptop.
But well done, actually, because I think originally, they're not at the hospital because the accident doesn't occur in the book. So it's just like in their dorm room.
Yeah.
So I think that was, it just kind of added to being like, this is very
dramatic.
much like, Yeah,
the life and death stakes is more clear. I think it does make more sense that they would dive into something like this given what has just happened with her brother.
Yeah.
More understandable, but just crazy.
Yeah, and I will also say the one thing I didn't quite understand, I don't think this was in the book. I need to go back and look. They always they can kind of read each other's minds. That is a common thread, which is sweet because it's like, they're best friends at the core.
Yeah.
But he's like, I have something to tell you. She's like, I know what you're going to say.
And you're like, wait, how is that? How can you be knowing that?
This is the one time where I'm like, I do not think that you would have known because you didn't even know who you were going to get back together with.
You just made up with him.
Yes. So that was
that
one
was
time
insane.
It was a little too much.
That was too much. That was too much.
It was a little
I think the fact that he didn't kneel insane, especially because literally when he's begging, like
he got on 2 knees.
Earlier, he's on his knees begging her.
Yes.
I'm like, you couldn't do half of that?
Yes. So I think it just shows, and I think it was very well done again by Jenny and by the whole team in terms of it just feels impulsive.
Yeah.
You didn't have a plan.
Yeah.
You didn't even kneel. You didn't even know
that's what he's gonna do. I don't know.
That's what I'm saying too. They're just trying to feel
show
so
that they're
connected.
on the same page.
Yeah.
But
But it's just it's very unfair, I believe. In that state, you're still processing your brother's
for him to
accident.
Even
for
ask
him to
is
even
so
ask.
inappropriate.
Yeah.
Like that's very selfish of him and a big red flag.
I believe so.
Because he's just thinking about himself and trying to oh, I almost lost her. I have to secure her now.
Yeah.
And it's like, no, you should be thinking of her.
Yes.
And this is like what you were saying earlier of Belly has often had to be the one to kind of take care of him, even with her whole Paris thing of getting to Paris. And she's like, she was potentially going to turn it down.
I am glad that when she told him, he was like,
he stepped up for a second. And I was like, you know what, Jeremiah? Okay, I'm with you. And then, of course, it all goes to pieces straight after.
I would also say I do like the decision with Belly. I think the study abroad plot in the book, it comes through a lot later.
Yeah.
I like how it kind of showed she has goals. She has things that she's wanting to do.
Yeah.
I think for her own character development, that was cool to see. And she wants to put herself out of her comfort zone.
Yeah.
And I think many times the plot does revolve around the relationships, but it was cool to see this is something she wants to do for herself.
Yeah.
And I think we will find that the study abroad experience is gonna really help her grow.
Yeah.
So I was pleased to see that as well in terms of a character development plot.
For sure. I agree completely. If we could just talk a bit more about this proposal moment.
Sure.
And the
song
music choice.
Sure.
Song choice. A lot of them, I loved every musical choice. I mean, Jenny Han, I think, is a genius. And I think she always picks the right song for the moment. And I thought that was a standout moment for me of Benson Boone's voice, coming out. The lyrics, I think, fit really well.
Yeah,
and
I think fit well.
And I just think Jenny Han saves Taylor's songs for she saves them for these really, I think, intense, really important moments. And I think this is just going to show you that proposal.
It sounds like you were a little pleased that it wasn't a Taylor song.
I'm pleased it wasn't a Taylor song, okay?
Yeah. I was surprised. I didn't know what song it would be.
Yeah.
I was almost thinking, I was trying to figure out what song it would be.
Yeah.
It made a lot of sense.
Yeah.
It made a lot of sense. I think I was thinking it would be a male artist.
Yeah. Yeah, because I don't know, I feel like he gives kind of Jeremiah vibe. Benson Boone even looks similar, right? I don't know.
Backlips. Yeah.
I think the tone of his voice fit really well. The lyrics fit really well. And even just like his voice he's really good at making his voice like soar.
Sure.
And even like the camera is like panning up at the end of that shot, like from their proposal and then like going up as his voice is like, I just thought it was really cinematic again.
Yeah,
really
very cinematic. I think I have seen some discussion about You're Losing Me, to go back to You're Losing Me, where I did think for the moment, I was like, epic song choice. This is like such a, like, whenever I hear that song, I'm like, this is painful.
Yeah.
I think it is interesting because some folks have said, like, that song is more about, like, over time.
That's true.
You know, like things in your relationship. It's like
That's
it's like
true.
It's like a really painful, like,
it's a drawn out.
Yeah. And this was more a moment of like dramatic, like you find out.
That's valid.
And so it is interesting because that's why I was like, it's gonna be White Horse or it's gonna be like.
Yeah. I think, you know what? I think she chose this song because of the lyrics.
Sure.
And she specifically chose the lyrical part, like, because, you know, obviously the most gut-wrenching part of the song is the bridge.
Sure.
Didn't include it. I mean, in the credits, if you keep listening, yes.
Yeah.
But I feel like in those first 2 episodes, I just felt like there's this theme of loss. Of when Belly was saying, you will never lose me, to Jeremiah. Jeremiah saying to his friend, losing her makes me feel like I've lost the sun or something along those lines.
Yeah.
And so there's this overarching theme that I think will probably continue throughout the season of loss. And so I think I think the song choice was You're Losing Me was specifically for those exact words
that
for
makes
her
a lot
to get
of
it
sense.
in. Yeah.
I know what
because
you
I
mean.
agree. I completely agree with the themes of that song are definitely longevity. And this is a spur of the moment thing. And so, a song like Babe or something would have fit the exact situation better.
Yeah.
But I think for the context, I think even just for the usage of the heartbeat.
Yes.
And then
with her running, I was like, whoa.
Very effective. And then I think of it being like, you're losing me. My heart won't start anymore. And the scene is literally fading to black. And it fades to black. And all you see on the screen is my heart won't start anymore. Yeah. And I'm like,
powerful.
It's very powerful and like really effective.
Yeah.
So I think she was using it for that. Yeah.
I think that's an astute point. Yeah. I also felt like this makes complete sense.
Yeah.
Then I thought more about the song overall. But I think it's, and I think Jenny has done this in the past too. Like people have talked about like Snow on the Beach, for instance. Like it's not always the most obvious.
I could do a whole essay about this. But I feel, we should do maybe another video about this. Because I have so many thoughts about her usage of Snow on the Beach and her usage of Invisible String in those scenes. And I think they work so well.
Because
I was upset at first too.
Yeah.
But I think actually because of the musicality of those songs, those fit the scenes better.
Yes.
And I think there's things about the lyrics and the music that she's using more so than, the most obvious choice, as you say. Yeah.
Yeah, and
so
like feeling it evokes as well.
Yeah.
So I trust Jenny.
I trust her. I'm going to be a defender of her because I feel like actually people don't give her enough credit for being so intentional. And I think sometimes she gets criticism of being like, don't know if she's a Swiftie, and I'm like, no. Like, I think she deeply understands these songs and is using them very intentionally.
Yes. So I think that was interesting. I will say, I think the Ariana song, I was very pleased it was included. I was a little surprised it was that one though, per se, too. Some
out of other songs on her album.
Yes, I think so. But I was very pleased that was also
because the song was I Wish I Could Hate You or something?
I think so. And I was like, I think you do. It's more of that song I think is a little bit more of like a amicable breakup in some case. Well, where it's like you're a little bit more like process the breakup, sort of.
Yeah.
But I think it is true. Like she couldn't hate him still. Like, in that moment.
Clearly she's gonna marry him.
Yeah. I think it still like made a lot of sense.
Yeah.
But I think sometimes I think too much about like the context of the song outside of the actual landscape. And sometimes you really need the context within the show. Yeah. And the parts that are included.
They pick from the song.
Yes.
Yeah. I thought also even just the beginning strains of Lacey and that scene. And I like that they basically just have from the beginning of the song up into it kind of fades out. Yeah. But then at the end of that scene, you can hear the lyrics come back. And right when she's saying, I'm not doing well.
Yeah.
And I was like,
She's not doing
perfect.
well.
She's not doing well.
Yeah.
I also
That's really well
just
done.
hearing those lyrics again in that context when she's saying skin like puff pastry.
Yeah.
Because that's such an interesting lyric.
It is, yeah.
And it just, I don't know. I feel like my instant when I think of puff pastry, I think of the Speak Now lyric.
Oh, sure.
Like in a gown
She's in the
shaped
gown.
like a pastry.
Yeah.
And I don't know. Yeah, that was like an interesting connection to me in that moment of like, oh, I don't know. Like maybe we would get that later. I don't know if we would ever get something that dramatic.
I had thought, and I don't, it would have been a lot to have maybe 2 Olivia songs in the same episode. I had thought maybe after Conrad made the mistake on his first day, which I'm curious to see. At first, I had thought it wasn't him who made the mistake. I thought it was Agnes made the mistake and he was covering for her.
Yeah.
But then it seemed from their later conversation like it was him. And obviously he had a lot on his mind with Steven.
I think it was when that scene when he's on the phone with Taylor and he's doing the stuff. And I feel like he's very distracted. I wondered if that was the moment. But it is, in that thing when he is called out, it is unclear. Like,
yes. But I thought after that, they were going to have Making the Bed. I love that Olivia song. And it's a lot about like, you know, like, you know, things have happened that are really hard, but some of it is like your own involvement.
Yeah. Well, that could still come.
I think
that
could still come. Because I
later
could see
on
him
in the season.
swiping through photos of Belly and be
like when Belly's doing Last Kiss.
Like I'm
season 2.
Yes, I'm the one, which like there's so many. Like I understand why he did not have capacity. Like he was going through so much.
Understand,
but you know, some of it was on him for not communicating.
It's true, but I'm the biggest Conrad sympathizer.
Of course.
I'm sure I am biased, but it feels unfair that he was given just the criticism that he was given. I feel like he should have been given a little more grace.
I think now, if you're going to accept Jer, who cheated on you, it's fine. The promises, like all of that, like
in comparison, come on, Belly.
Of course, like was it very hurtful? Like, of course, but there were a lot of things happening.
There's a lot of things happening, and that's like I think also the contrast.
Apologize for that.
The fact that he made mistakes, but there was all of this going on, and Jeremiah is now making really big mistakes, and this is obviously still stuff is going on and hard things still working through. But this is years down the line where you've had a lot more time, so you're not like in the thick of it.
Sure.
You know, and I think it's not excusable per se, but it's more understandable.
Yeah. Okay, quick thoughts about Laurel and like if you think they're going to reunite, they're going to rekindle. Some people believe that, and this is one theory, like some people believe in the trailer, like that whole sequence of Belly at the wedding is actually her parents getting remarried.
I've heard that theory as well.
Yeah.
And I'm totally down for that. I think that could happen.
Okay.
I don't know.
Yeah, I'm unclear because they introduced that potential guy.
Was it Elliot? Yeah. I think his name's Elliot.
Yes, I'm like, I think we're gonna see him again.
I think so too.
But it might just be a fling, and then and then they rekindle.
I think it would be sweet if it happened. I feel like
I'm unclear. Yeah, but that is one theory.
It's an interesting one.
It is an interesting one.
Yeah,
and I think. You know, I think last season too, it just felt like they are also pulled back together.
Yes.
You know?
Yeah.
Time.
Yeah. So
keeping my eye on that.
Yeah. I do think the situation that they allowed themselves to get in and to not be responsive to their children when they were in.
That was bad.
That was really bad.
Poor Belly. I felt really I think it was also like really I think this was really accurate portrayal too in terms of like Belly was really like keeping it together. Yeah. And then I think, you know,
breaking down on the phone was really good. Yeah. I think things like that, I love just the progression of that. Yeah. I felt like it was acted so well. And I loved Taylor in the hospital.
I know, Taylor. Okay, heartbreaking, like so good, that whole monologue. Then, when she's talking to Steven when he's not.
No. I was going to say, I love Taylor and how she took care of Belly in the hospital.
Yeah.
Like, that was so sweet. When she said, like, I will be your Jared today. And I was, like, sobbing. Because I'm like.
That was really sweet.
That's, like, best friend, like.
Totally.
like ride or die. Like,
And I think that
so
showed
good.
that like Annika is not replacing.
Yeah,
You know,
not
I think
at all.
I think that moment showed like their friendship. Like
So
at the
strong.
end of the day, when things happen,
So
like she's
sweet.
family.
Yeah.
So I love that as well. I meant like the monologue to
the
Steven,
monologue was-
incredible.
yeah.
I was really hopeful, and who knows? We will see. Maybe it will be revealed that Steven heard it all.
This is what I thought too. Like, surely, like, people hear things when they're in comas, right? This is what every TV show and movie has taught us.
But why then? When
he was
woke
so
up,
cold.
He was so cold, and he was
cold.
crying.
Yeah.
I felt so bad, and then I was like, "You just let him." Like, he turned so cold immediately as well.
The acting in that scene is really good because she's so open and warm, and then it's like an instant like wall comes between them, and it's just like it's so frustrating because I feel like with Steven and Taylor, we just keep getting this.
We've been through it already.
We've been through this already, and like surely, like why is it so hard? I don't know. Maybe because we need another season's worth of drama, but
I guess so. And so I'm not really sure. For them, they're just going to kind of take a break. He's going to kind of start something with Denise, is my sense.
Well, break up with Mia first, man.
He has broken up.
Oh, that's right. You're right. You're right.
That's right. That's the other thing.
That's right.
He was never shown.
No, he was never even on screen.
So I think they did that to make us feel like, okay, we don't really know Mia. We don't really know who was the other guy that
Davis.
We saw Davis for a second, but it's like we don't really get that close to them.
No.
I think
it's like Rory's boyfriend in the revival. It's like Paul or whatever. Like we never.
Yes, exactly, and it's like
forgotten.
As a character, then you don't feel like quite as bad, maybe. But I'm like,
should because they're real people.
They're real people, and Mia
they deserved better.
Yeah. So I'm really happy Steven broke up with Mia, but she did not deserve
That's right. I forgot. Yeah, he did right before the car. And then Taylor freaked out, and then she broke up with Davis, and then Steven freaks out, and then
yes,
it's
Steven did do the right thing. Like he was the one who took
after he did the wrong thing for a while,
of course. But I felt like he was the one who was really trying.
to
get them back on track.
Yeah, and I have to say I'd forgotten how smooth Steven is.
He's really smooth.
He's very smooth.
Yeah, I love Steven.
Like his. Wow, I'd forgotten.
Yes, so I don't really know where I'm at. I'm gonna need to recheck in because I think I've always been a fan of Steven and Taylor, but they're making it hard for me.
It's hard.
And
I agree.
I just don't know if they're good for each other.
I know. It is kind of toxic.
So I'm gonna need them both to really
step up,
do work.
Step up, do the work, come back when you've done what Conrad has done.
I'm guessing, he's gonna pursue the relationship with Denise. Interested in that.
Interesting. Can we talk about the Christmas?
Oh, of course.
Because this was my favorite
sequence.
Favorite sequence. Conrad, I mean, they're really selling Conrad. Conrad comes across so well.
Very sweet.
So sweet.
Yeah.
And just I feel like their chemistry is so apparent.
Yeah.
Whereas I think the montages with Jeremiah are very sweet. But I think just in contrast, her scenes with Conrad at Christmas, I feel like there's so much chemistry there. And then when she and Jeremiah are in the car and they're singing together, and it's very cute. Yeah. But to me it gives best friend vibes.
Sure. I think with Jer, some of the scenes where I get the most chemistry is when they are more physical.
Yeah.
But I think with Conrad,
that's true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
With Conrad, it doesn't have to be physical.
It's just
and you already feel.
Yeah.
They feel like old married.
Yeah.
There's really been time, and it's just they can just be in each other's presence.
Yeah. And just his floppy hair, and it's
and the wet hair, which she finds, which she has said previously,
very attractive.
Yeah, that she finds romantic. So I think that whole sequence, I loved how accurate it was to the book. It was probably the most book accurate for the first 2 episodes.
Yeah.
And I loved just that they didn't even have to say anything. They could just be in each other's company, and that was their best Christmas.
I know. And it's
really
I also really thought they're both very respectful.
Totally.
They're sitting on the sofa.
Yeah.
Lots of space in between them. Yeah. I felt even when he was carrying her, it's very it's just very careful and sweet.
Yeah.
And considerate and
Yeah, and I think it just showed they don't really have to do anything like that. crazy to have fun.
Yeah.
Like they can just literally sit inside in their PJs and like, it was so sweetly done. I think I loved how, she thought Conrad had like left and then she was like running and rushing.
Yeah.
I mean, it just kind of shows like, even if she herself hasn't really processed that she still cares that much for him, still like loves him. It's like that in itself that she was like rushing to like find him.
Instinctive.
Yeah. Obviously, like she is still in love with him.
Yeah.
So even if it's not clear to herself, like I think that was interesting to see, like how much she really cared.
I think even the intro to that scene where, and obviously we all saw it in the trailer, sometimes I wonder if it could have been more powerful if we hadn't already seen it. Because I think it's so great, but I get why.
Yeah.
It's perfect in the trailer.
Yeah.
But I think it's so cute how she's like, watching Home Alone and then she hears the noise and she's like, oh my gosh, like what would Kevin do? What would Kevin do? And it's so cute. Like Noah is so cute. And then she like runs and then it's him and it's like the expressions on both of their faces, it's just so good.
And I think that they, I think Chris actually is naturally very comedic.
Yeah.
He's actually just like really funny in interviews and things like that. And I think in the last season we also saw it too. Like in the car scene. Like, like kind of
comedic timing is always really good. Yeah.
But I love that he can kind of like roast her a little bit. Like that also feels very like coupley.
Yes.
Like, when you can take a good roast.
Yeah, like the banter, but it's like a different kind of chemistry that they have with each other.
Yeah. So I loved that whole sequence. I thought her in the red PJs, like I know we had already seen that, but I think in the context of also like red. Yeah. Like, and also that's Lola's, one of her like favorite T Swift albums too, which is really sweet.
That is sweet.
I think she really loves red. I really loved also, there were like so many Easter eggs that we can like talk about now. Let me rewind a little bit. Before this whole sequence, something that caught my eye for like some Easter eggs is, this was in the book as well, but there's like a Bye Bye Birdie poster.
I saw that. Yeah.
And in the book, it's also talked about, but I think that Belly's like a big like Bye Bye Birdie fan, and in that musical, there's like a character named Conrad, and there's like a whole song like "We Love Conrad." So that was a cool addition. Yeah. And then I also saw like the Sabrina. I think there's like a Sabrina poster as well
in her dorm. I think. Yeah.
And that was a cool nod as well. Like that was also a lot of the promotional.
The poster is also a nod to that. Yeah,
like two brothers in love with like the same girl. So those Easter eggs were really awesome to see. And then I was not anticipating, like, I think the crossword puzzle altogether was like a really sweet moment, how they were like working on it to like she gave like the hint.
She was I thought that was really sweet how they were working together on that.
Because obviously he's like very intelligent, but I think they're trying to show that like he
wanted to bring her in,
but also that like she can add a dynamic, like he doesn't know all.
And she can help him.
Yes. So I think they're just like good partners in crime. So that was really sweet. And then I was not anticipating like the zoom in. When they zoomed into the crossword puzzle the next day when he had left, I like paused it and I was like, wait a minute.
Well, first, because I remember seeing the clue and it being Jenny Han's book.
Yes.
P.S.I. blank.
Yes.
P.S.I. blank love you.
Yes.
So I Still Love You is the name of that book. And that's from the trilogy To All the Boys.
Yes.
And so I was like, oh, how fun, Jenny Han, for you to include like your own books here.
And breaking the fourth wall.
Input that into this world. Like, that's very cool.
Yes.
But like, and then you see her filling in still.
Yes.
But then you can see right before she does
that he had already filled it out and then erased it. And then had
a gut punch.
It's a gut punch, but it's also like interesting that like then she fills it in. So it's kind of like they both still have these emotions.
Yeah. And the fact that he filled it in, erased it, and then left it for her with a note.
Yeah.
Is very interesting.
It's interesting and almost kind of like, do you reciprocate? Like, it's like a small...
It's like kind of a Valentine, almost like, do you like me or not?
Yes.
But like, also I want to respect what you're doing.
Totally.
Like, there's a lot of layers.
A lot of layers. I also think what's so fun with that Jenny Han like Easter egg is in Belly's dorm room when it had all of the photos of like her and Jer. Yeah. Then it had one, and now Jenny has like posted it on Instagram.
Yeah, she posted a lot of them. Yeah.
It was her dressing up as Peter, like her dressing up as the characters from To All the Boys. So Jer being Peter. Lacey.
Yeah. That's cute. I mean, it's the wrong couple, but it's cute.
It's the wrong couple, but I just love like how she has kind of.
So she also is bringing that world into, so had already brought it into Belly's world. Yeah, that's cool too. Yeah. And I think also just the crossword thing immediately made me think of those lyrics from Red.
Exactly.
Which Jenny had already made a pivotal part of this season of bringing in Red, Taylor's version, and the lyrics of that song. And just to say, fighting with him was like trying to solve a crossword and realizing there's no right answer. And I think the fact that Jenny's really kind of building the season of Conrad around the lyrics of the song.
Yeah, I know.
It's so interesting to me. I don't really know why, because I feel like in the past that song has very much been determined to be not a very healthy relationship, right?
Sure.
So I think it's interesting that Jenny Han is like bringing that in for Conrad. But I also feel like the song has, I don't know, this could be very silly of me, but I wonder if even just Taylor and Travis and their relationship and just like the way that Red has become such a big part of their story and like the colors of the Chiefs and all these kinds of things. Like I feel like it's kind of brought the song back to the fore of like
totally, and it kind of has a new meaning.
Yeah.
And I think with a lot of T Swift songs that happens. Like over the years, like there's different interpretations. And, and I don't think it's necessarily saying. I mean, I would say Conrad, Belly, it's also been a tumultuous time. So I do think that's correct. They have
had that. Yeah, they have had that for sure.
Yeah, all of those pictures, like super sweet. I think it's just always really cool, like, because Jenny Han has done this beforehand too, where like in To All the Boys, they had like a photo of Noah and and then they use that as like the lock screen in the actual movie. So I think whenever they do things like that,
it's just nice little really touches. Cool.
So I'm excited to see how they continue to do that throughout. I was not anticipating all of those Easter eggs. I think the other thing that a lot of people have said is like the infinity.
Infinity shadow with the crossword puzzle book.
Yes.
That's so clever too, because infinity has been such a symbol of Bonrad, like Belly Conrad. And I would also say, I don't think that this has been a song yet, but there's a 1D song, Infinity, that I've always thought they're also going to somehow fit this in, I would think, at some point. That would be cute.
And I was almost like, are they going to play it at this point? But I think it's like too on the nose.
Yeah. But maybe at some point.
Yeah.
And it's interesting, because I don't think we've really got that in season 2. I feel like the infinity symbol was such a symbol of season 1.
Yeah.
And then I feel like season 2, maybe because Jeremiah was so much more in the mix there.
Totally. Well, I mean, like him taking it back.
I mean, true.
It was a big part. But I think also
that's true. I forgot about that.
To me, I felt like they were trying to also do a little bit of like a contrast between the infinity like necklace and then the bracelet.
Yeah. Well, and it's just the meaning. It's like the thought and intention behind both are so different.
Yeah, exactly. So I did feel like they were trying to do a juxtaposition of that as well.
Which they did very effectively.
Yeah. Okay, so I think maybe now we can talk about maybe like predictions for the next episode. I mean, things are going quickly.
Very fast.
I am curious. I think for sure the next episode is going to have the memorial, like the garden memorial for Susanna. I think now it's unclear to me with Conrad, like whether he'll get the position back or it's like now he's free
to go.
I think whatever happens, he's going to be able to come last minute.
He'll be there.
He'll be there. And I think we know that because I think they will also have the reveal that they're getting married.
Yeah.
So they're going to have like
and he'll be there at the table. Yeah.
So to me, I think it's mostly going to be like that memorial. They're going to have the revelation that they're getting married. And then I think they're going to have kind of like the argument with Susanna where she's kind of like, you're not ready.
You mean with Belly's mom?
With Belly's mom. And Jared being like, I'm ready. And she's like, that's how I know you're not ready.
Yeah.
And then to me, I'm like, I feel like it'll kind of end on the argument, but maybe not. Like maybe Belly moving out.
Okay.
and like driving to cousins, and like, that's how it ends.
Yeah.
I don't know if we're gonna get more than that.
Yeah.
I feel like that's a lot
That
to
is.
cover in one episode.
Yeah.
I don't know if we'll also already get, a little bit of Jer like starting to work. Because I feel like for him, he might say like, okay, I'm going to help provide for this wedding by working.
Yeah.
Like, I think that's going to be his what he brings his parents to be like, this is how it's
I
going
will
to
prove to you
that
I can
perhaps
do this. Yeah.
Yeah, so I think we'll get that, and I think we'll get a little bit more with maybe Denise, and then also I think we'll get more with Agnes and Conrad a little bit. Just like kind of building blocks maybe for a potential relationship.
I really hope not, though.
Really? You don't think it's going to turn romantic at all?
Well,
I think
I
they're at least going to kiss or something.
I don't know. I mean, I suppose they could, but to me, that's like the obvious thing to happen. And I would
That they'll just stay
really
friends.
love for them to just stay friends. I mean, I think you could be right, because I think, with his brother actually getting married to Belly, like,
he's kind of like, it has to be over and I have to move on.
Yeah. So I think that's valid, and I think probably you're right. But to me, it feels like okay, well, then he'll just like have to find someone else, and I'm like, no, like you could just stay single for a bit and then hold on. I know, but like hold on a little bit longer.
Yeah, but if you're
because it's about to happen,
the person that you love is now getting married to your brother, you're kind of like, I have to like.
I know.
So to me, I think what's going to happen is something a little romantic will happen with Agnes, and then I think he'll kind of realize I am still in love with Belly.
Yeah,
he's going to end it respectfully.
Okay.
And then really, then he's gonna, in the end hour try to
break them up.
And that's why we get the scene also, I think, with
in Paris. No.
Well, actually, I think that Jer is going to visit
Belly in Paris. Yeah. I think we've just seen like
some photos of filming.
Yeah.
I think, but there'll be letters.
Yes.
From Conrad to Belly.
Yes,
while
that's
she's
right.
in Paris.
Yeah.
So those are some of my predictions, I think, for the next episode.
Yeah.
Are there any other things that you think will happen?
That's what mainly I was thinking too. I was thinking the dinner scene, and then I was wondering, and this might be too soon.
Yeah.
But I was wondering if any wedding planning stuff would start now and like getting Taylor in on that.
Yeah.
Like I think that could be cute and kind of fun. And I had thought if we also want to share any song predictions, but I've just been thinking about like potential Taylor songs for the season, and I won't give like all of them.
Let's
but
hear
I
some,
think
though.
for more immediate future, I feel like Paper Rings could be
yes,
fun.
I thought that too.
And it's really funny.
No, because I think that he will have a real proposal. Like with a ring, and I also thought that.
I feel like I think it could work. The one thing that makes me think that it won't happen is I really feel like Jenny has been saving Taylor's songs for like pretty deeply emotional kind of moments. But I don't know. I think it could be really cute.
I think they could have a little montage, honestly. Like I can see it.
I was like a wedding planning montage to Paper Rings I think would be really cute.
Yeah.
So that was like the main thing. I don't know if that would happen in the next episode or maybe the one after that. I think it could.
Okay, interesting.
So that's my thoughts.
I had thought, I don't think this will necessarily happen next episode.
Yeah.
I think it will happen at some point, perhaps.
Yeah.
If they go there. I can also see Guilty as Sin.
I've heard people say that too. I think that song could work because I feel like there's got to be a Torture Poets Department song in this season, right?
I think so.
And I think out of all of them, like that one might be the one.
Maybe. And then I still am like, will we get White Horse as a flash?
I feel like the time has left. I feel like we've lost the moment where it would have worked most powerfully. But that does make me sad. Should have said no.
Should have said no. And I was really hoping. I was wondering, LOML.
This is, but I'm like
maybe more from Jeremy.
This is the other thing. I feel like there are songs for other characters, but I feel like pretty much every song has been from Belly's kind of point of view.
I just thought, and
What?
they can't do this, but maybe they would, and it would be heartbreaking if actually during, oh no, I have a bad,
During the Susanna.
yes, that they do LML.
No.
Because
No.
last time
They did Bigger Than the Whole Sky. And that was
Yes.
heartbreaking.
I feel like they're gonna do. I think it's gonna be something really
That's true.
emotional.
I had
and that would
forgotten,
make
yeah.
sense. Like I would rather it's used for that. I mean that would really wreck us. But
that would wreck us.
I feel like it needs to be used for something of that. Like
Yeah, I don't think it'll be used
okay, that's
because
fair too.
well, I feel like for Susanna, because I feel like that song is very romantic context.
But maybe
like
just
you
the
said,
end, yeah.
like sometimes she takes songs and uses them in a different context, so it's
Yeah.
possible. I don't know if she would. I do feel like Bigger Than the Whole Sky was maybe the best song for Susanna that she could have
Sure.
used. I mean, I suppose there is also something like Marjorie
yeah,
that could
I
work,
know.
and that would be also very meaningful.
Sure.
But I don't know if if the sound of the song would fit. Like
Yeah.
Bigger Than the Whole Sky fits
Yeah.
the sound and the context
Totally.
fits really well. So the other song that I was thinking for, again, it wouldn't happen super immediate, but whenever Belly
Yes.
goes to Paris, I'm like,
Paris, of course. It's gonna be her coming off the plane.
touch for Paris has gotta
Yeah,
happen.
absolutely. It's gonna be her
That'd
off
be
the
so cute.
It'd be really cute. Yeah, I think that'd be great. And it's gonna it's gonna be like Conrad writing letters.
That's exactly right.
Yeah, I think that would be
Oh,
sweet.
that
yeah.
would be really
Would love
sweet.
to see that.
I'm very curious because beginning of season 2, she told us how many Taylor songs we would get.
And
she
her-
was like 9 Taylor songs for season 2.
Oh, and she didn't say this
And
time.
she hasn't said this time, so I'm
Probably
like,
even more. It's
maybe.
probably even more.
But in the first 2 episodes, we've gotten 1.
yeah,
And
that's
there's,
fair.
how many episodes?
I
10?
almost thought. Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, 10, which is more than any other season because it was 7
Yeah.
and then 8 and now 10. So,
Okay, I'm not sure. I could see. I do think in terms of like other songs that we may see.
I do think like favorite crime. I also thought
that could work. Yeah.
for
But are we
Olivia.
past the
and logical. I thought logical. I could see still being relevant and feature.
Yeah,
episodes. I do think there'll be like a Boy Genius or Phoebe song
Yeah.
at some point.
Yeah.
Like motion sickness or like I don't know. I feel like even during the memorial you could like find a song.
Yeah.
The sound is like right.
Yeah.
I really love Griff. And I
Yeah.
feel like Vertigo or like I don't know, she has some songs that are very like upbeat.
Yeah.
I could see that. She has a song called like Last Night's Mascara, and I was also thinking that would have worked well after
There's
the
so
party.
many.
But whatever.
It's okay. It was done well.
No, it was done very well.
It's just
But
quick.
There's just too many
There's
songs.
just too many songs that would work.
Yeah. And then I really think the Lizzie McAlpine song "Spring into Summer," which I think you've heard, it's the one that's like running back to you. Like I think that one will be with Conrad.
Okay.
And like him, like he's still not over Belly.
Yeah,
and,
yeah,
like,
yeah.
It's like he's running back to like Belly. Yeah, I would be shocked if that is not in this season at some point.
Yeah,
It may not be the next episode, but I feel like that song
It's coming.
it's been so popular
Yeah.
like in the past few months. Just feels right.
Yeah.
Feels right.
Yeah.
And I do think there'll be another Gracie song, probably.
Yeah. Oh, there absolutely will.
Yeah. But I don't know which one. Maybe
Yeah.
I told you things.
Oh. Oh.
Yeah. I think that could be good.
That could be really good.
Or there's also like Mess It Up, like she keeps messing
Yeah.
things up. I don't
Yeah.
know. Maybe that's a compliment.
No, but I feel like also
Yeah.
we're kind of past the point
kind of
for
past
those.
it.
So
Yeah.
we'll have to see.
We'll have to see. And
There's a
then
lot of
I
good
would say,
possibilities.
yeah, last one, I do think role model, there will be a song and it'll be a Conrad song.
Okay.
Because to me, like, Conrad is like, he has to have a role model.
Yeah.
Those are my song predictions.
Yeah, those are strong. Those are strong. I'm just like paper rings in Paris. They gotta happen.
That makes sense.
They gotta
That
happen.
makes sense.
Amazing. Well, there's been a lot
Wow.
to chat about. We've talked through a lot. And still not even everything.
Yeah.
There's so much in the show, and I think a lot of times maybe there can be a reputation that teen dramas and stuff, obviously now they're even in college, but maybe there's not as much meaning or in-depth kind of analysis that can go into these, but I feel like something I really love about this show is I think Jenny Han is so intentional.
Yeah.
She pours so many like little Easter eggs, little touches,
Totally.
intentional nods, all these kinds of things, and I think that's what makes it really fun, really interesting. That on top of just, you know, great writing, great acting, like really great chemistry with the cast and everything. So
Totally. And I just think this show, it just feels really nostalgic.
it does.
Overall,
Yeah,
which
and
is
it's felt like it's been a while since I've watched kind of a classic
Sure.
drama like this since, you know,
Yeah.
like teen drama or whatever.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
it feels kind of like going back
Yes.
to that, which is nice.
Yeah, I really missed it. I also think it's just crazy to see them kind of grow up through
Yeah.
this process as well. I think like
Yeah.
Lola, like she's really grown up with the
Yeah.
character, which is amazing.
Yeah.
And I think they also, with the time jump again, it's like they're playing kind of characters that are a little bit more similar
More
to
their age,
which
yeah.
is really cool to see
Yeah.
too. Like I always love when they kind of can relate more to their characters.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I'm really excited for the
Yeah.
next episode.
Yeah.
We'll have to chat again.
Yeah, we'll have to we'll
Yeah.
have to get back together, regroup, and just share reactions after that. So I'm so curious to see
Yeah.
what she's going to do with the rest of the season.
I
It's going to be
know.
a good one.
We hope that you also watch and tune along.
Yeah, and let us know your thoughts. Like, did you have similar thoughts? Did you have other things to add to the conversation? What were some of your takeaways and reactions to these first 2 episodes? Let us know. Leave them in the comments below. And if you're interested in more content like this, then would love for you to subscribe to the channel. But yeah, that's our sister chat for these first 2 episodes of The Summer I Turned Pretty. And we'll see you for the next one.
Catch you next time. Bye.